George Burrell. Tim Wooden was an American professional wrestler, better known by his ring names, Mr. Wrestling and Tim Woods. Collegiate wrestling. Before becoming a professional wrestler, Wooden was a successful collegiate wrestler. While wrestling for the Michigan State Spartans, Wooden won 2 Big Ten titles in 1958 and 1959. He also finished second in the NCAA tournament in 1958 and 1959. As a junior at Michigan State, Wooden won the 1958 Big Ten 177-pound title by pinning Gary Kurdelmeyer of the University of Iowa at 8:21. A couple of weeks later, the two met again in the 177-pound finals of the 1958 NCAAs at the University of Wyoming, where Wooden lost to Kurdelmeyer 6-2. As a senior, Wooden defeated Iowa's Gordon Trapp 6-4 in the heavyweight finals to win his second Big Ten title. At the 1959 NCAAs, the Michigan State Spartan competed in the 191-pound class, making it to the finals for the second year in a row, but lost 9-5 to Syracuse's Art Baker. With his 2 runner-up finishes at the national championships, Wooden was a 2-time NCAA All-American. Professional wrestling career. Wooden began his wrestling career at the age of 29 using the name Tim Woods. He was then given the name Mr. Wrestling by Nebraska promoter Joe Dusek, and subsequently adopted both a white wrestling mask and white singlet to complete the character. Mr. Wrestling became a major superstar in the Georgia, Florida, Texas and Mid-Atlantic territories. He wrestled in the Worldwide Wrestling Federation in the Northeast, at the upper end of the preliminary wrestlers. Starting in the 70s, he would alternate between his masked persona as Mr. Wrestling and wrestling unmasked as Tim Woods, depending on the territory. Plane crash. Wooden was involved in the same 1975 plane crash that involved pilot Joseph Michael Farkas, wrestling legend Johnny Valentine, wrestler Bob Bruggers, future legend Ric Flair, and Jim Crockett Promotions announcer David Crockett. At the hospital, Wooden gave them his real name, and told him that he was a promoter. Since Wooden wrestled under the name Tim Woods, a newspaper article in the Charlotte Observer listed his name as his real name, George Burrell Wooden, and mentioned that he was a promoter. Wooden was the only fan-favorite wrestler on the plane, while the rest wrestled as villains. And this was back in the days when kayfabe was not broken and heroes and villains were not known to travel together. Eventually, rumors began circulating that Woods was in fact on the plane. Unwilling to risk the exposure of professional wrestling, he got back in the ring 2 weeks after the crash and was obviously in extreme pain. Flair later said in his book To Be the Man, that he was more than just Mr. Wrestling that day, but was the man who saved wrestling. Death. On November 30, 2002, Wooden died from a heart attack at his home in Charlotte, North Carolina at the age of 68. Before his death, he was scheduled to be interviewed for a WWE Confidential piece on the October 1975 plane crash. Personal life. Wooden earned an agricultural engineering degree at Cornell University and a mechanical engineering degree at Michigan State University. He was an avid collector of motorcycles as well as an accomplished photographer and saxophone player. Woods also ran a heating and air conditioning business after retiring from the ring. In wrestling, finishing moves, sleeper hold, championships and accomplishments. Amateur Wrestling, Amateur Athletic Union, AAU National Championship, Big Ten Conference, Big Ten Conference Championship, Professional Wrestling Big Time Promotions Big Time Heavyweight Championship, Cauliflower Alley Club Other Honorary Championship Wrestling from Florida NWA Florida Heavyweight Championship NWA Florida Tag Team Championship with Hiro Matsuda and Big Bad John, NWA Florida Television Championship NWA Southern Heavyweight Championship. Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling NWA Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championship, with Dino Bravo NWA Mid-Atlantic Television Championship NWA United States Heavyweight Championship NWA World Tag Team Championship, with Dino Bravo. Mid-South Sports, Georgia Championship Wrestling NWA Georgia Heavyweight Championship NWA Georgia Tag Team Championship, with Mr. Wrestling 2 and Thunderbolt Patterson NWA Macon Tag Team Championship, with Mr. Wrestling 2. NWA Big Time Wrestling NWA American Tag Team Championship, with George Scott. NWA Hollywood Wrestling NWA America's Tag Team Championship, with Paxong and Dr. Death. NWA Mid-America NWA Southern Heavyweight Championship. Pro Wrestling Illustrated PWI ranked him number 394 of the top 500 singles wrestlers during the PWI years in 2003.